It's a common misconception that Dunkin' is most famous and beloved for its donuts. The truth is, those who are familiar with the East Coast chain know that when it comes to Dunkin's, it's all about the coffee. These are some of the most popular Dunkin' coffee drinks ranked worst to best.
Welcome to Coffee Talk. I'm your host, Linda Richmond.
Hazelnuts have a rich and beautiful flavor with a long history of sparking serious taste bud joy. But for some reason, when it comes to adding sugary flavor to Dunkin's coffee, this particular swirl choice is kind of, how shall we say this, yucky. Oddly bitter and artificial tasting, it's unclear whether the problem is that the swirl itself tastes like a type of perfume, or if the issue is the combination of the swirl with Dunkin's coffee, whether it's hot or iced. The merging of these two entities should be avoided. If you're a coffee lover with a hankering for hazelnut, try ordering a hot or iced beverage and dressing it up with a hazelnut flavor shot instead. If you do, however, be aware that Dunkin's flavor shots are unsweetened, so those craving a sugar rush will need to add in their own sweetener. If these Dunkin' flavors seem foreign to you, it's probably because they aren't offered year-round or at every location. But if you do happen to stumble into a Dunkin's at the right time of year and spot cookie dough or Rocky Road as swirl options, we urge you not to be seduced by the yummy desserts their titles conjure up. Inspired by some of Baskin-Robbins' most popular ice cream flavors, we learned the hard way that not everything we love tastes great in beverage form. It appears that cookie dough is best enjoyed raw, cooked, or embedded in vanilla ice cream, not floating aimlessly in your morning coffee. While the combination of Arabica beans and uncooked dough may someday be a mainstream favorite, we hope it is not within our lifetime. Along those same lines, Rocky Road, a beloved ice cream flavor comprised of chocolate, marshmallow, and nuts, is perfect as is and does not respond well when violated by the strong taste of coffee. These two tie as far as placing, since we couldn't decide which was the worst of the two. Just avoid them both. Although the bottled version of Dunkin's iced coffee can be useful to have on hand when you need caffeine in a pinch, the experience of drinking this pre-packaged coldish coffee may leave you feeling a bit deflated. Consumed as served, which means without ice, this beverage hardly compares to the delightfully refreshing fresh iced coffee that Dunkin' is known for. While the taste is okay, it is virtually impossible to make this drink last more than a couple of minutes, since the plastic bottle assures the contents will get warm very quickly. And without ice, drinking coffee from a bottle feels more like drinking a 5-hour energy shot, or a less creamy, less chocolatey, less delicious yoo-hoo. Let us start by saying that the butter pecan swirl in Dunkin's iced coffee is actually quite good. However, simply put, this drink is about as far away from coffee as you can get. Fully loaded with 48 grams of sugar in a large, it would arguably be healthier to just flag down the ice cream truck on your way to work and then again when you get out, just for good measure. However, if you love the effect of caffeine but hate the taste of coffee and happen to have a sweet tooth that just won't quit, then Dunkin's Butter Pecan Swirl Iced Coffee might be the perfect drink for you. The flavor absolutely does its job, capturing both the creamy butteriness and smooth nuttiness that it promises. In fact, it's so efficient that it actually completely overpowers any coffee flavor.
I'm staying. I'm finishing my coffee.
Some of you may not even know that Dunkin' has a secret menu, but they do. And of their more interesting offerings is the cocoa berry iced coffee. If you're vegan or simply a nut for nuts and berries, then this beverage hack is a must-try. Made by combining Dunkin's iced coffee with almond milk, 2 shots of coconut flavor, and 2 shots of blueberry flavor, the cocoa berry iced coffee is a delightful, refreshing, and completely dairy-free option. That being said, the amalgamation of coconut, blueberry, and coffee is not for everyone. For coffee purists, the cocoa berry iced coffee flavor profile may prove to be a little too off the beaten path. For mocha lovers, it's worth noting that there is also a different version of Dunkin's cocoa berry iced coffee that ditches coconut for cocoa. In this non-vegan incarnation, the drink is made by combining a mocha latte with 1 shot of blueberry. In 2017, the coffee conglomerate replaced the coffee Coolatta with what they simply call the frozen Dunkin' coffee. Like the Coolatta, frozen Dunkin' coffee can be customized a number of ways by adding in flavor shots or swirls. Given the popularity of the PSL, it's not surprising that one of those flavors is pumpkin. While hot pumpkin lattes warm the soul and ease the transition from a summer to fall state of mind, adding the pumpkin flavor shot to what is essentially a coffee milkshake has a different effect. Although the frozen pumpkin coffee tastes good, there is something about it that also tastes wrong. Pumpkin is a flavor that conjures up sentiments of cold weather, warm sweaters, cozy socks, and sitting by the fire. It just seems that the strange sensation of slurping icy pumpkin is specific to the frozen pumpkin coffee combination, and it's not pleasant.
Oh my giddy aunt.
If you are a fan of the cold brew coffee craze that seems to have swept our great nation, then Dunkin' should definitely be a stop on your list. Their cold brew is high in caffeine but low in acidity, and very drinkable for even the non-cold brew lover. This strong but low-cal option is a nice change from the typical iced coffee routine. What is particularly interesting is that even with all the variety and liberties that Dunkin' takes with its coffee options, the cold brew seems to have remained sacred, escaping any corruption by flavor swirls or whipped toppings. Perhaps this is out of respect for the very serious iced coffee drinkers that seem to have separated from the rest of the herd at the inception of cold brew. When thinking of ways to make your coffee even more delicious, adding fruit into the mix probably isn't on the top of your list. Yet Dunkin' Donuts has managed to open our eyes to a world where berry-flavored coffee is not only available, but is surprisingly yummy. If you're an iced coffee drinker looking to change things up a bit, take a walk on the wild side by adding a blueberry flavor shot to your normal routine. While the essence of blueberry in your cup of joe might not be for everyone, we do think it is for more people than one might think. However, if fruit in your coffee feels like too big of a leap, try taking a coconut flavor shot for a spin instead. We promise it's just as tasty. Less robust than hazelnut, Dunkin's coconut iced coffee is a nice compromise for nut lovers who are looking for something a bit lighter. This drink also happens to taste fantastic with almond milk, so it's a total win for vegans too. As the name suggests, this Dunkin' iced coffee hack is a dream come true for fans of Hershey's Almond Joy candy bar. By adding toasted almond and coconut flavor shots, as well as a mocha swirl, Dunkin's iced coffee is transformed into a drinkable version of the classic treat. For those of you who are more of the Mounds persuasion, you can be equally as satisfied with the same drink, just hold the toasted almond. Either way, this joining of flavor forces successfully delivers your favorite Halloween treat into your morning coffee in a way that is not overly sweet nor weirdly bitter. And while the actual Almond Joy candy bar has 20 grams of carbs, the drink version has a mere 5 grams, making it a kinda sorta healthy choice. Well, healthier at least. Like many items on the Dunkin' drink menu, the caramel mocha coffee can be served hot or iced, and both ways are truly delicious. The high marks of this drink are probably not all that surprising, since most people would cast a vote for caramel, chocolate, and coffee as a winning combination. Nevertheless, it's always good to get some validation beforehand, because like in the instance of the hazelnut swirl, these things can sometimes not turn out as great as they sound. If you crave sweet and savory, the caramel mocha is also prime for a great drink hack, sprinkling a little salt on the top. This adds that whole yummy, salted caramel thing to the experience. It's important to point out that since the caramel mocha is made by adding both caramel and mocha swirls to coffee, it's definitely on the sweeter side.
'Tis the season for holiday drinks. Like our
never mind that. Hey, interview my buddy Dewey for the movie right here. Dewey, tell me your favorite donut is.
Whenever you're talking about merging chocolate and hazelnut, the response is almost certainly going to be, oh heck yes. When it comes to dessert, Nutella is a buzzword that practically sells itself, unless you have a tree nut allergy, and then it's a cautionary warning to run in the other direction. Despite the poor performance of the standalone hazelnut swirl, its presence in the Nutella surprise will make you sing an entirely different tune. Another favorite from Dunkin's secret menu, the flavor of the Nutella surprise is quite decadent. While Nutella can be a little intense sometimes, the beauty of the Nutella surprise is that the hazelnut chocolatiness does not overpower the coffee flavor. In fact, it complements it. Given the popularity of hazelnut-flavored coffee and mocha's loyal following, the only thing surprising about these two flavors making one kick-butt drink is that it's not part of Dunkin's regular menu. The caramel swirl latte offers a lot of the same delicious flavor as the caramel mocha, just a little less sweet, a little more creamy, and no chocolate. What is great about this drink in latte form is that the espresso offers a rich base that blends really well with the bold caramel flavor, both of which are softened by the high cream milk quantity. There is something about the espresso caramel milk ratio of this drink that is pretty darn close to perfection. Also, because it only uses one swirl flavor, the drink is sweet, but not overwhelmingly so. If you really don't like your coffee sweet, you can order a latte and add in a caramel flavor shot. Since these shots are unsweetened, you're free to add your own sweetener or go without. In a similar vein, the caramel macchiato is also quite yummy and has received rave reviews in its hot form. Whichever caramel drink you choose, don't forget that you can always sprinkle a little salt on top for a sweet and savory twist. You might be surprised to finally get to number 1 and find that it is just a simple cup of joe. Call it an affinity for tradition, but nothing really beats the straight-up, no-nonsense flavor of Dunkin Donuts' original blend. Smooth and unpretentious, this medium roast is derived from Arabica beans and delivers an even flavor that rivals the slightly bitter taste of Starbucks Pike Place. While the fun and novelty of Dunkin's more extravagant beverage choices, complete with whipped cream and toppings, are appreciated, it's the original blend that made them famous, and for good reason. If you want to add a little excitement to your morning coffee, or perhaps are just looking for a change, adding one of Dunkin's unsweetened flavor shots is a nice compromise. This combo allows you to enjoy some variety without sacrificing the integrity of the Dunkin' coffee that you know and love. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more mashed videos about restaurant chains are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.